Welcome back. Yes, I'm on the hockey set for this video today. I am wearing an Entertainment Guy jersey though, in that it's an exterminator. Yeah, and it's Rusty. So if you don't know who Rusty the Dalek is, well, I don't know how to help you. He was my favorite Dalek ever. But at any rate, I wanted to talk about things being a YouTuber and things along those lines. So just straight up front, people may run from this video. No idea. I have no idea how this is going to do. And a lot of the videos that I've had over the years that have done well, I didn't expect. Videos, sometimes videos that I'm like, this is great. I put so much work into this, and it might flop. Just happens. You never know what's going to hit. Outside of some obvious ones, and I want to talk about that. But first, I want to get into the income side of things when it comes to YouTube, and not more than 90% of the income on both channels is via ads. I don't have sponsorships. I don't have any kind of agreements with anybody. The closest you can get is Ben H Sports and I have worked together where I talk about that's where I get my hockey jerseys from, and he kind of cross promotes me when he ships boxes out with jerseys in them. So that's as close to any kind of a promotion as I've ever gotten. Other than, I mean, there's discount codes for certain companies that did work. I don't think some of them work now. It's just the corporate tie-ins and all the promotional stuff I don't really do. And so yeah, it's ads that generate the revenue that allows me to provide this content for all you fine people on the internet. Now there's memberships as well. Memberships on this channel are small comparatively speaking with the other channel, but they're not insignificant. They're still there, and I think that's great. And thank you guys for being members who are members. And then there's super chats. Now, on this channel, we haven't had a live stream in some time. I think that needs to change. The growth on this channel encourages me to do some sort of a live stream. And so that could be happening on this channel sooner than later. But on the hockey channel, those could be huge. Whether it's draft day in the National Hockey League, whether it's free agent day in the NHL, or it's the trade deadline, they can be huge days. When they had the draft lottery in the NHL earlier in the month, that was a great day for the channel. And it's been, I think, the best month this channel's ever had. I'm pretty sure, looking at the numbers, it's the best month this channel's ever had. So as a result, you guys get more content. And it really is just a matter of, if I'm not talking about hockey, it'll go on the Entertainment Guy channel. That's basically the only rule. So I wanted to talk about something that, as well, I've noticed, and not necessarily being thrown at me, because it's very, very rare that gets thrown at me, but it's the idea of clickbait, and the idea that, well, you're just doing this for clicks, which does get thrown around here and there, and I know that gets thrown at YouTubers. The part that I find weird is, so if you have a job and you can control that income on any level, would you want to make more money? Most people will say yes. There will be some that say no. At my old job, I would have said no, because anytime I make more money via overtime, I get bumped into the next tax bracket and I make less money. It used to be a running joke at the plant, actually, that guys I knew would go home early. I'd work the full 80 hours and I would make maybe $10 more than they did for an extra 5 or 6 hours of work. It was hilarious, not for me, but for them. So the reality is that for most of us, we would say, yeah, I would like to know how at my job I can make some more money. But, as YouTubers, there's going to be well, this is clickbait. Now, a couple months ago, when the NHL decided to go with the 10-year deal with Fanatics, as soon as I saw that, I immediately got up, got myself ready, and just went straight to work on that. And normally I don't start with a video like that, but I knew I had to strike immediately. I knew I absolutely had to make that video because I knew it was going to do well. Now, is that clickbait? No. Clickbait is something else. Clickbait is the idea that you see a thumbnail and it says, click here. This is a video, let's say, on a 57 Chev. Watch a 57 Chev race a 56 Dodge and see who wins. And then you click on it and it's Rick Astley. That's clickbait. That is, you think you're clicking on one thing and you're getting something else. So maybe you get Rickrolled. And I don't know that Rickrolling was necessarily the first clickbait, but it kind of feels like it was. And it's the idea that you'll advertise one thing, but when somebody actually clicks on the item, they're getting something completely different. There are a lot of fake news websites at this stage. If you go through almost any website and you go through all the ads underneath, yeah, most of those are just garbage articles, or they're actually grabbed word for word from Wikipedia. They might be grabbed word for word from a different website altogether, and then they just stuff it full of ads, and they make it so you have to go through 10 different pages for a top 10 list that either doesn't make sense or it's not interesting. But it's all about, for that website, how many ads were served and how many clicks did we get. And so they'll do whatever they can to get them, and that's clickbait. That is absolutely. Now, if let's say the Yankees, who are a very popular baseball team, have an absolute nightmare game, right? And I decide I'm going to do a video today on the Yankees because what a horrible game that was for them. It's not clickbait, but it may be me as a YouTuber saying there might be an opportunity here to have a video that's going to get attention, and maybe it'll end up going viral, and maybe it'll actually have that kind of growth where things can kind of blow up, and I'll see those subscriber numbers go up, and I'll see that the ad numbers should go up as well. Now, the other thing I'll say is this, is that when a video does blow up and you get a lot of casuals, you get a lot of people who are first timers to the channel, the income may not go up by as much. They're a lot less likely to sit through ads for a channel they haven't been on before. They're far more likely to just skip them and say forget it. And so the videos that have a lot more views don't necessarily generate revenue that is of a similar number. So let's say a video has 50,000 views, another one has 100,000 views. The one with 100,000 views doesn't necessarily generate twice the income. And there have definitely been videos I've watched on YouTube that have got a ton of views, and I'm like, well, that's a fun little video they put together there. It's 2.5 minutes, so you're not going to get a mid-roll ad. You're not going to get one at the end. You get one at the start. It probably did okay for them, but they're going to have a lot of casuals coming in. They're probably going to skip ads. I used to talk about this too on the main channel about trade videos. Trade video could get 75, 80,000 clicks, right? Is this it or is this it? Well, it's more of a viral video situation. And so the actual numbers, when I looked at it from a financial standpoint, they're very rarely the number one performing video of the day. The key thing that I found was to make sure that I've got other content on the channel that will generate more per view, so that the person who comes in to watch that trade video might stick around then and watch the other video that I posted earlier that day that is definitely going to generate more revenue. So that's something I try to keep in mind on those big days in the NHL. Make sure there's a big video to go with that big day, outside of trades, outside of signings, outside of that kind of thing. And it is, I mean, one of the reasons why I stopped doing the NFL power rankings on this channel was it did not generate anywhere near the amount of revenue that justified me continuing to put as much work into it as I was. I was watching and keeping track of every single team and doing my best to make sure that it was as accurate as possible. And then I would post it, and the numbers I was seeing for a power rankings on this channel was roughly the same as I was seeing on the main channel when it came to career video. And a career video is usually pretty easy for me to throw together, and it doesn't require nearly the amount of attention as the power rankings to the National Football League did. So I ditched them. Plus the other trend that you watch as a YouTuber is, so are the views going up or going down if you're doing a series? And that's something to keep an eye on, right? Because there's differing opinions out there. I was told when I got into YouTube more as a full-time thing back in 2017. They told me that series don't perform well. So if you make playlists, traditionally the first video in that playlist will do really well, but after that, it's going to drop off. And if it's a series, you may find that it's really hard to keep people's attention past, say, a fourth or fifth video in that series. Now, because of the way people binge everything, YouTube's actually telling us, hey, make sure that you've got all your videos and playlists so people can binge watch them. So it really depends, right? So it hasn't changed my way of doing things, and maybe it's because I'm old, and I don't necessarily feel like I want to shift my focus and change how I do things, because I'm probably just going to end up having to change back anyways. At least that's been my experience. So I definitely do see people confusing clickbait with viral videos. I don't get mad about viral videos on any level. There are YouTubers though that they'll have like videos that perform in the millions, and then their next video might get 20,000. And I kind of feel bad because I'm like, that was a really good video they put out that got millions of views. That's going to be really tough to follow up on. There are definitely one hit wonders on YouTube. Or it might be a situation where you serve up a video that gets a ton of attention, but maybe that's not your usual topic. Maybe that's not your usual thing. And so people aren't going to stick around for the other stuff. Now on this channel, I know there are people who don't like bunny videos. There are people who don't like cat videos. There are people who don't like certain videos that might get posted on this channel. The way I see it is simple. We lost one of our cats a little over a year ago. There are videos of her on this channel, and she's kind of immortal via this channel. Our rabbit that passed away some time ago as well, before we got all the rabbits we have now. And one of the reasons we have rabbits to run around the house now is because of the rabbit we had before, and kind of feeling bad that she didn't have that same opportunity. Looking back, I would have just had her on my set. I would have been like fine with it. Raspberry would have been fine. She was very well behaved by the time I came along. But the reality is that these videos of Raspberry or videos that have Lilybell in them, it's great, right? It's a great way to one of the reasons I became a YouTuber was the idea that I'm getting older, and my dad passed away, and nobody knows anything of him, and there's nothing online to prove he existed. Basically, he didn't have a Facebook account. He didn't have any kind of online presence. And so I thought, that's a sad way to go. And so I felt like if I made videos and if I post them on YouTube, well, it's a way to prove I existed at some point, right? There's kind of an immortality to it, which we've seen with movies, with music, and other things. But at any rate, coming back off of that, I definitely understand why people get irritated with certain videos. I definitely, and I'm not necessarily just talking about mine, just in general. I understand in some cases. But on this channel, it really has been. There obviously the depression video really spoke to people earlier this month. I can't recreate that, and I'm not going to try. And that's the thing too. I learned early on that when a video hits like that, you have to say, all right, that video hit, that video did well, and now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do something that's not related to that. I'm going to do something completely different, and move on some other discussion. It won't hit as well, but you can still have a discussion, and some of the people who came in on that other video may very well stick around to watch the other. So hopefully that model continues to work. Obviously my goal with this channel would be to get another one of these silver bad boys right here. You get those at 100,000 subscribers. It would take a long time for this channel to reach 100,000 subscribers, I think. But that being said, I didn't think that the hockey channel was going to blow up the way it did either. I thought the maximum number of subscribers I would have for a hockey-related YouTube channel, probably around 90,000. I was like, yeah, 90,000 is probably about as big as it's going to get. I can probably make it a full-time job if I do it right, and it'll make about the same amount of money as I did at my old job. That's what I'd expected. And it's gone better. And you don't ask it. It's just one of those things where when you're on a run and you're doing well, you don't ask questions. You just keep going. You just keep going. And so that's kind of what I do. Every day I get up and I keep going. And I do enjoy when a video goes viral. I do. But I don't try to make it happen. There's never been a time where I've been like, okay, I need a hit video, and then gone in, because it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. There's no way it's going to work. There was a video I did 3 years ago when everything's shut down, and it's just, everybody was kind of down because everything was closed up. And so I did a video in my front yard or driveway of me trying to recreate a goal, famous NHL goal, and I just goofed the whole thing up, because that's what the whole thing was about, was making it, looking as much like a goof as possible. And it was the best performing video I'd put up in months. And so right away people were like, are you going to do that again? And I was like, I could, but it's not going to be as organic as that. It's not going to be as fun and spontaneous as that. So it's not going to perform as well, and B, it's going to look like, even though I'm trying to get, and neither's going to happen. So that's why I never did another one. That's why, despite that video doing really well, I said, all right, well, I'll just leave that where it is. I'll just leave that and let it sit there and go on about my business. And, you know, if I get another hit video later, great. And if I don't, well, you know, just keep soldiering on. That's kind of how I approach it every single day. So, all right, there you go. A little bit of a behind the scenes sort of thing for all you fine people on the internet today. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all your support. Again, the growth on this channel, still 2,500 new subscribers over the last month. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much. Those are THG numbers. Those are absolutely THG numbers. The average on that channel is between 2,500 and 3,100 a month. So this channel right now is performing in terms of gaining subscribers at that level. Obviously, view counts aren't as high, but that's because subscriber numbers are lower. But when I see that up arrow and it's looking good, you guys definitely get more content. So keep that in mind. All right. Thank you guys, though, so much for all your support. As always, hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. The channel is right on the cusp of 25,500 subscribers. So who knows? Maybe this one pushes it over the top. But it's not going to be this. And I really can't see it being a viral video either. But thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.